Biden is supposed to be critical of Bibi and Israel for what they're going to be doing soon, going into Rafah, yet Biden is still supporting the Israeli government with giving them money in arms because so far the Israeli government hasn't been sanctioned by the United States.
Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday. We begin tonight with a sharp escalation in the public rift between President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. This weekend, the president took direct aim at Netanyahu's war strategy in Gaza, and today, Netanyahu pushed back. The war in Gaza grinding on with 2 million Palestinians marking the start of the holy month of Ramadan. No ceasefire between Hamas and Israel, and a quarter of the population.
Some people will look at these kids and be like, yeah, these are Hamas kids, and be A-okay with the Israeli government just sending in an airstrike.
Facing starvation. CBS's Skylar Henry is at the White House tonight and leads us off. Skylar, what exactly did Netanyahu have to say?
Yeah, Jerika, Prime Minister Netanyahu said that the president was wrong on both counts as it relates to him not having the support of the Israeli people on the nation's interests and its policies, as Israel intends to move forward into southern Gaza, a refuge for millions, as the president warns of a red line that should not be crossed.
Yeah, when the Israeli government starts airstriking Rafah, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people are going to die because it's so densely packed that any airstrike will kill innocent people. Though many ministers in the Israeli government don't even consider babies to be innocent in Gaza. You had an Israeli rabbi who spoke about killing Palestinian kids because the kids grew up to be terrorists.
He's hurting Israel more than helping Israel. It's contrary to what Israel stands for, and I think it's a big mistake.
President Biden.
If you truly think this is a big mistake, then why don't you sanction the Israeli government, stop giving them money and arms, and send troops to Gaza?
Not mincing his words, criticizing Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and calling for Israel's war with Hamas to come to a ceasefire. As humanitarian support by plane and by sea heads to the region, the World Food Program is warning that a quarter of the population in Gaza is one step away from famine.
It's a desperate situation. Food, medicine, everything needed, badly needed, and it's needed now.
The intensity.
Doesn't Biden remember that he's been the same guy who's been constantly defending the Israeli government, claiming that they have the right to self-defense, even when they were bombing innocent people?
Of Israel's attacks haven't slowed. On Friday night, a blistering airstrike hit one of the tallest buildings in Gaza, home to nearly 300 families who were only given 30 minutes to evacuate.
And some people will claim that, oh, the Israeli government warns people before they murder them, so that means the Israeli government aren't murderers. But it's like, if somebody walked up to you and was like, yeah, in 30 minutes I'm going to blow up your house, and your family dies because you didn't leave in time, does that mean that the other person is a murderer, or are they not at fault for murdering your family?
The United States of America cannot be complicit in this mass slaughter of children.
Lawmakers are split, some critical of Israel's tactics, others of Biden's condemnation of Netanyahu.
When the President of the United States talks about Bibi and not Hamas, we're missing the boat here.
The crisis in the Middle East.
No, we're not missing the boat here, because Biden has talked about Hamas. Everybody does agree that Hamas is pretty bad. It's trying to figure out, or trying to get people to admit that the Israeli government is just as bad when they're killing innocent people, starving innocent people, they're committing a genocide.
East is also a main focus on the campaign trail. Both Biden and Donald Trump rallied in Georgia on Saturday, with the former president using his stump to sound off on his successor.
When you think of it, inflation wouldn't have happened, the attack on Israel wouldn't have happened, the attack on Ukraine with Russia, Ukraine would have never happened.
And that's a big lie by Trump there, that uh, Russia would never have attacked Ukraine. They would, and Trump would have supported it. He's in support of Putin.
Now, President Biden says defense of Israel is still critical, but that the administration is also working on bringing ceasefire negotiators back to the table to try to resurrect.
How is the Israeli government defending itself when it's going to be bombing a bunch of innocent people in Rafah? That is not self-defense when you're bombing a refugee camp.
A deal that would allow more aid in and more hostages